If this is anything like European folklore, I don't know. I don't know if I can take it.
Oh God.
I'm
Yeah, that's
still
yeah, it's gonna be
I'm
something. I don't even know what to say about it. I don't know shit
still
about
I'm still freaking out about Sigmund.
Yeah. Yes, Sigmund's wild, man. He'll probably be up in this. He's probably a fucking mythical creature into his damn self.
Oh
So
my gosh. It's just a weird
he
god that sits out in the forest cutting up eels.
cutting up eels and giving can't sugar cocaine candies to children.
What if he gave it to the eels?
I think that's how you make dragons, bro. You can't
Oh
do that.
my gosh. It's illegal. All right, everybody. Today we're watching the wild world of Inuit folklore. If you like it, please drop a subscribe or a like. Or yeah, that's it. All
Yeah.
right, here we go. I hope I don't. I hope I'm not mentally scarred again.
Hey kids, from clubbing seals to inventing new compound nouns for snow, nobody knows how to kick it quite like the Inuit. Of course, if you're a close-minded tree dweller like me, you might initially think that they can't be that good at storytelling, given that they only know about like 6 things. But that's not true. They've actually got an
Pretty
incredibly
much.
complex and fascinating oral tradition. You could ask one about it, there's plenty of these guys around today, but they've got Jesus and microwaves and shit, and that's boring. We want to talk about the stuff from before missionaries came and sent their
Got
miserable
like
way
three
of life to
hats.
a farm
I
upstate.
know
So
it. Oh my
instead,
god.
let a 20-year-old college kid
Uncomfortable.
who's never lived outside of Delaware tell you all about it. Obvious disclaimer, Inuits are super diverse. Calling a caribou Inuit a copper Inuit is like calling a copper caribou a caribou caribou. Sure, they both look the same from far away, but when a thunderstorm hits, you better know which one to hide under. As such, while most of the following can
What
be
the fuck?
applied in broad terms to most Inuits, the little details come from a variety of subcultures that don't necessarily represent the whole. Got it? Swank. Now, a lot of the world's faiths are centered around bringing people together and inspiring them with stories and images of the divine, so as to give them a wider sense of purpose here on Earth. That's all well and good, but that whole
Jesus.
search for greater meaning thing
God,
only
looks like they
really
found
comes
that
into
White
play once your
Christmas.
original purpose of making sure you
Yeah.
don't die is pretty much figured out. Not so for the Inuit. You see, it ain't so easy living in a place where plants can't grow and being naked for an hour means certain death. As such, their beliefs were a little more practical, being more so geared towards fostering the paranoid levels of fear required to survive in such a hostile environment. For example, the Inuit believed that everyone has a sort of life force or soul, what they called a nirnik, and like plenty of religions, they believed it lived on after death and could meddle in the world of mortals. But while most cultures regard animals as being spiritually inferior meat puppets, to the Inuits, a creature's soul is just as powerful and vengeful as that of a person. And like I said, up there in the Arctic, not much greenery in the scenery, so they basically had no choice but to devour nothing but souls every single day. And wouldn't you know it, souls don't much care for getting ate. So the Inuit made sure to follow a complex set of guidelines on how to placate their prey in the afterlife, lest the pissed off ghost of that Arctic tern whispers sweet nothings into a polar bear's ears and turns your whole village into a big Japanese
Oh
flag by
shit.
sunrise. Here's a few. If you kill
Oh
something, make
shit.
sure you eat it all. Just as an American who doesn't clean his plate doesn't get dessert, an Inuit who doesn't eat all his walrus doesn't get any more walrus. Ever.
That's a lot
Till
of
they
walrus.
starve. If you kill a polar bear, make sure to point its head towards the direction it came from so it can find its way home more easily. If you pull a seal out of the water, give him some fresh water so he's not thirsty when you bash his brain in. Also, its spirit lives in its bladder, so make sure to hold on to it until the yearly bladder festival, where everyone gets together, blows up their bladders like balloons, and throws them out to sea so they can reincarnate into new seals. These taboos aren't all just about
Okay.
hunting though. For some reason, there's a load of them
Oh.
about pregnancy. Don't make fun of
Why?
people's facial features or else the baby will have the same features. Don't walk backwards or else the baby will come out backwards, dangerous. Face your bed towards a doorway or it'll come out sideways, also dangerous. Don't wrap rope around your hand or it'll come out with the umbilical cord around its neck, extremely dangerous. Don't drink directly from a soup bowl or it'll come out with dark skin, not touching that one. Don't put a bowl on
Oh
your head or
no.
else it'll be wearing the placenta like a hat, too hilarious, and the list goes on. Central to the consequences of breaking a lot of these rules is the being known as Sedna. The story behind Sedna varies pretty wildly between different groups of Inuits, but here's the gist of it. She was once a young girl who pissed everyone off, either by being annoying or eating too much food, or rejecting an arranged marriage, or marrying a dog for some reason. So her father throws her out of a kayak, and when she tries to get back in, he chops off all her fingers. The sea goddess sees this, furrows her long floppy seaweed brow, does a sassy snap, and the girl turns into an immortal sea witch, while her disembodied fingers turn into the first seals. And to this day, Sedna sits at the bottom of the ocean, growing new fingers which promptly fall off and turn into all the world's seal lions and narwhalruses. That is until someone goofs up in some small arbitrary fashion like, "Yo, Sedna, bad news. I just caught a guy chewing a piece of blubber. What's wrong with that?" Well, he wasn't looking north while he did it. Are you fucking kidding me? In his defense, he was standing right on the pole, so he literally couldn't look anywhere but south. He could have moved! That's it! No more fingy foods for 3 moons! Another fun creation myth is how the moon and sun came to be. So long ago, there were these 2 siblings named Melina and Iningin. The 2 got along just fine as kids, but as the 2 got older, they were put into their respective genders' living areas and saw each other less and less. Then one day, Iningin got the feeling that his lower nose was in dire need of some Eskimo kisses. So that night, he snuck into the women's lodge, saw his sister, thought, I pick that one, and proceeded to do, unspeakable things, technically becoming his own Eskimo brother. But it was too dark at the time for Melina to tell what happened. The next night, Ningin's like, "I'll fucking do it again." Only this time, Melina smears soot all over his face. So later, she goes over to the men's lodges, and who has crap all over his face but her brother? This makes her so mad that she cuts off her own breasts with a knife, puts them in a bowl, throws them at Ningin, and says, "If you enjoy me so much, then here, eat 'em. Go ahead, eat my disembodied, quivering titties." She runs off into the night with a torch, and Iningin is really remorseful or horny or something, so he chases after her with his own torch, and they end up running so fast that they took off like a plane into the sky, and Melina became the sun while Iningin became the moon. Excuse me, Mrs. Elder, if the sun and moon didn't exist yet, how did he do that stuff at night when there was no night? Now, some details of the story are tied into real-world phenomena. Some say that Iningin tripped and messed up his torch, which is why the moon is so dim. And the moon cycles are because he gets really skinny from chasing after her for so long. And the new moon is when he goes away for a few days to hunt seals so he can fatten back up. But here's the kicker. Nobody ever explains what the whole lopping off her tits part was supposed to represent. That's entirely just creative liberty. Just like, yes, that's why the sun doesn't have tits. Probably for the best it doesn't, otherwise half the population will be blind by now, and worse, it's the half that makes up 85% of my viewer base. So you know what? Thanks for slicing and dicing them tea towels, Melina. I kinda owe you my career. But as for you, your eyes are valuable. You should treat them to something more substantial and informative. Like, say, a library of high-quality exclusive documentaries. Sponsor time. Curiosity Stream was found...
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there.
Shit, bro. That's crazy.
Why?
Oh, man.
I don't understand.
I don't know. It's like some cultures, I guess all cultures, even Christianity, like you read the Bible, there's some shit that goes down in there that's just freaking weird. It has incest too, actually.
Don't make fun of bald people, or a bear will run out of the woods and eat you. Don't look at burning cities or you become salty. I don't know.
man.
I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff.
When you don't
And,
have
like,
the internet or TV, like you got to make up your own stuff. Like I don't.
yeah,
Some
for
of the stories.
entertainment. And yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff. I took in high school, I took a class on mythology actually, and they brought up a whole bunch of stuff. Like we talked about Norse mythology, like there's some African mythology, and of course we talked about like the Roman stuff
Yeah, the
and
Greeks.
Indian, Native American, all that stuff, and like all of it had its own fucking kind of weird thing attached to it. And we even talked about like early Christianity. And one thing, and I actually had to go and verify, like who was that with the ark?
Noah.
Noah, yeah, that guy. Noah, whenever they got off the ark and shit, and you may recall, like Noah got dummy drunk, right? Noah got hammered, and I don't know what verse, or I think it may be in just it should be in Genesis. But still, but like both of his daughters took advantage of Noah while he was drunk, bro. Did you know
I
that?
thought there was like 6 of them. I thought it was someone else.
I thought there were two, and maybe more than two, but I know that his daughters,
He
plural,
I think it's a
plural.
different person. I think it's the folks that
Nah,
ran away from Sodom and Gomorrah, because Noah, it was Noah, his wife, and like his 3 sons and their wives. I feel like. I don't know.
was it?
I
Nah,
don't know. I know
I
what you're
recall that
talking
his
about.
daughters smashed him
I
while
know
he
what you're
was
talking
drunk.
about, but I think it was someone else.
Yeah, but
Gosh.
yeah, early mythology for any culture is crazy as shit to our standards today.
It's like be Zeus, and he sees like a 15-year-old girl, and he's like, "Well, form of a swan." Goes down there and gets it. I'm like, why?
That nigga, you can be anything.
He sees a 16-year-old. He's like, "Form of a horse." Like, why are you doing this?
Oh shit.
Oh,
Yeah, that's legit. I mean, I guess that's what that's what makes it entertaining. It's like, how can I make this entertaining? Fucking
the,
everybody's just fucking.
the Greek gods are
Fucking
people like
hard.
us too. They are relatable. Turns into, I don't know, an eel. I don't get it.
Yeah, it's wild, man.
All
It's
right.
wild.
Well, that's another one. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm gonna have to think about this. Yep, right there.
It all comes back.
Oh, fade to black.